Okay, here's the main screen on the Goldmaster 24k. We'll start the little White's logo and the Garrett logo. Pictograms on this machine rather than the normal English labelling you would be accustomed to if you're a Garrett user. So it's just obviously an on and off button. And that can turn on the backlight. There's a backlight for low light conditions. We can just turn that off. Now the main control you're going to use when you're prospecting with this machine is going to be the sensitivity. So this is just a direct up and down, and that's the sensitivity bar there. 8, 9, 10 is a boost system. Normally you wouldn't really want to run it that high in mineralisation where you're going to be looking for gold. So an 8 or a 7 if we get stable threshold. Okay, the thing is with this machine, it's like any VLF, this runs at 48 kilohertz, so it's quite a high frequency. It's all about your sensitivity and your threshold settings. You're listening for little bumps and beeps in the threshold and dips, not just positive responses. And the sensitivity control on this machine is directly accessed by the up and down arrows. There's a good reason for that, because basically you're driving this with a sensitivity. You've got to run it as hot as you can for the existing conditions. If you find that your mineralisation is quite high and you're getting a lot of false signals, first thing you do is reduce your sensitivity. Yes, you'll lose a little bit of depth, but you won't miss any larger nuggets, and realistically these modern digital machines don't miss too much gold if you walk over the top of it. Okay, the 24k is literally a turn on and go gold detector. It's got an automatic ground balance and tracking system, so when I turn it on, it defaults to the XGB tracking and ground balancing system. I just got to balance it, and there you go, it's ground balance. Look at that. That is awesome. Now you just adjust your sensitivity to the ground conditions. 10 has a boost, or an audio boost on it. That's usually going to be far too hot for most conditions, but I'm running over at 8 or 7 here. I'll go higher if I find that it's really quiet, and then drop it back down as I go as the mineralisation varies, but the tracking system will adjust to the mineralisation. Now we'll just run through some of the other features we've got here. Okay, this is the Trac Lock button. That XGB automatic ground balance I just demonstrated will track and adjust the ground balance as you move across varying mineralisations, hot and cold pockets in the soil. Ideally that's not as sensitive on small gold as you'd want, because you're tracking all the time. You do lose a little bit of depth and sensitivity, so you can actually use a lock. You can lock your ground balance at whatever's under the coil at the moment, and that'll keep the ground balance locked in that setting. Now once it starts getting noisy, you may want to go back to a ground tracking system, but for general prospecting, I would run it, this is the way I've been operating it, run it unlocked, so that it's tracking the ground and you're getting a nice steady threshold that you can hear at the moment. Once you get onto a target, the danger is you can actually track it out if you get a faint target or a faint bump in the threshold. The danger is you can track the target out through the XGB system. So what you do is you lock your ground balance and it stops tracking. You've locked the ground balance at whatever the last setting was. And it's also got this ground grab where you can just hit this and it'll grab the ground at that spot and update the ground balance even though you're in lock. But for general prospecting, wandering around the bush looking for a patch or any isolated nuggets, automatic ground balance and tracking on the XGB, and then just lock it when you get onto a target. The two arrows for adjusting the various controls when you enter the other controls, that's a pinpoint button, which is fairly self-explanatory. This with the nail crossed out, that's your iron reject. So if I press that, I've now got that lit on the screen, and you can see I've discriminated points of iron, which is adjustable by operating these keys. Ideally, if you're prospecting, you wouldn't have any iron in, but iron discrimination in. But there are cases where you might want to dial in a bit of iron, where you can actually use that if the ground is really intense and you have to reduce your sensitivity a bit. You can always put in a little bit of iron discrimination, but once again, you're risking missing the small nuggets doing that. Okay, the next control is a little music symbol. That adjusts what audio system you want to run in. It's either an all metal mode with a zip signal, which you'd be accustomed to on a prospecting machine, or if you don't want to listen to that threshold all day and that's just going to wear you out, you can go to a beep mode, which I'm in now. Now you get low tone and high tone, low tone bad target, high tone good target. But notice also you get a target ID, which is great on a prospecting machine. You get a digital target ID. That's optimized, that target ID, when you've got your settings right. If you're running a bit hot and she's chattery, the digital target ID may be a bit out. And of course, like any VLF machine, the closer you get to the target, the more accurate the target ID. But 01 to 99, ferrous up to highly conductive. So that beep system there that I'm in now, the beep audio, once again, lose a little bit of the sensitivity and depth. Not ideal for nugget hunting, but if you're getting tired of listening to that threshold all day and you don't want to tolerate that, You can operate it in the beat system, or just drop back into the zip system, which is a much better audio in my mind. The small speaker symbol here accesses two functions, volume and threshold. If I just press it, hit it once, I can adjust the audio volume. Plus you have independent controls on your headphones. If I hold it down for a second, I get TH for threshold, and you can see me adjusting the threshold to whatever your preference is there. And then once again, back to operate. Righto, this is a piece of old-timers rubbish. Bit of iron from an old matchbox, an old Vesta box. We'll check it with the machine. Well, I'll just go into beat mode so you can hear it in the basically on-off audio system. That's not really the all-metal threshold mode. Okay, that's now got the music lit there. Low tone iron, you can see that if you look up here in the top left hand corner, you can see that pixel on the ferrous end being lit. Okay, we're getting a higher reading erratically, but basically it's given a reading of 0608 ferrous. Now I can eliminate that if I want to. I go to the iron reject. As you can see, it's lit up some pixels, and they're adjustable. You can hear it's discriminating it a little bit there and cutting out. I'm still in beat mode. Clearly a poor target because it's a low response on the audio. Okay, here's the nugget I'm about to bury. It's 0.3 of a gram, and it actually came from this patch, so it's going back into the ground that it came out of. Okay, as you can see, it's quite a dense, hard-packed grey clay with little bits of quartz and ironstone all through it. It's quite highly mineralised, ground balancing in the 90s. There goes a little piece of gold, a little 0.3 grammer. We'll backfill it and detect it with the Goldmaster from the surface. Of course, this isn't replicating a nugget that's been in the ground hundreds of thousands of years, but just for the sake of the audio test, we'll try this. Okay, there's our little nugget buried there. I've turned on the Trac Lock because we don't want it to track out with the automatic ground balancing system. Lovely response on that. Go 90 degrees. No problem at all. Now, what I'll do, I'll recover this like as if I've actually detected this in the field, naturally. And we'll hear that audio response getting louder, and we'll actually get a target ID as we get closer to the gold. Okay, I've redug the gold from the ground and it's out in a mullock heap. Lovely response now. Now I'm getting a target ID, 11, jumps to 20, 8 to 11. Let's say this is repeatable. You can see the top cursor is jumping around a bit because I'm not right on the target. 9 to 13, target ID. Very nice. Let's get him on the ground. Bring out the old nugget scoop. And we'll see if we can get the target into the nugget scoop. So it sounds like on the coil. That's what I love about these closed coils too. Very easy to operate with. Open coils, not so much for prospecting. I love that audio. I mean, it's just a really pleasant, you can listen to that all day. Even the threshold's very nice. Very pleasant. There we go. Got him back. A little 0.3 grammer. So that's the response of the 24k on actual gold. I really like this search coil. It's super lightweight. It's not like the solid epoxies I'm used to with Garrett. It's solid coil, as you can see, so I can now get my little nugget scoop and wave it across the coil without the issues of an open coil, or just even move the little muller keep around on the coil to hear any gold that I get or any target that I get. It's fully waterproof, the coil, but like I said, it's super lightweight, and because it's not solid epoxy with the windings moulded into the epoxy, I'm not getting false signals when I bump sticks and rocks and that kind of thing. It's super quiet, very stable operation. Very impressed.